Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over a very unique truck. So what we have here is a 2020 GMC AT4 Carbon Pro with the Duramax engine. Now, obviously the Duramax is just lower in number in general, and then the Carbon Pro is limited production, so this truck is super unique. But as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Carbon Pro, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A big shout out and thank you to National GMC here in American Fork, Utah for providing us with the Carbon Pro. Check out their inventory in the link below if you're in the market for a new GMC. Let's get into the video. Under the hood here we have a 3-liter Duramax engine that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is actually really good for a truck. It's 22 around town and then 26 on the highway. Power outputs are 277 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. And by the way, it is an inline 6 engine. So let's go over things on the front end. First, let's go up to the hood. The thing I think is really cool is just this accenting right here. It looks really cool. It kind of has this just like open look to it. Obviously, you can see the muscular hood bulges as well. It comes with all of the GMCs. Now, I've got the lights on so you guys can see what the lights look like while they are on. Obviously, they're kind of super bright in the camera. Fog lights are down below. We've got the GMC logo right out there off to the side. Red tow hooks on the bottom, and then there are parking sensors on the front. You just gotta see right there all of those parking sensors. But here's just one more look at the front end of the Carbon Pro. Now here's a side view of the Carbon Pro. Let's kind of zoom in on the rims. So we've got 20-inch rims here, 275mm on the tires in the front and the rear as well. I love how they've done the accenting with the red brake calipers from the factory. That's a really good look on the truck. And then we can see off the side here, we've got the Carbon Pro badging Duramax turbo diesel. This one has the massive mirrors on it. You can see just how much that actually shows on the truck. AT4 badging just down below, and then we've got the side steps all along the side of the truck. Other than that, things are pretty simple, and let's just take one more look at the side of the Carbon Pro AT4. Now here's the key fob for the AT4. We've got a couple functions, our unlock and our lock remote start and the tailgate release. So if we lock the truck, and then we hold down the remote start, that diesel engine will start up. Just give it a moment. It's actually pretty quiet, again, so not a whole lot of noise coming from there. But if we hold the button again, that'll shut it right off. And then obviously we've got the tailgate release, so press that button twice and that'll drop down the tailgate, and we'll get into the Carbon Pro part of it. So we've got the bed right here, which you can see kind of looks like a normal bed. However, it is not. So this bed is made out of carbon composite, which obviously will make the bed lighter, but then obviously a lot more durable as well. GM basically says it's indestructible, essentially. It has a really cool look to it. I mean, I don't know if it's coming through onto the camera very well, but if I zoom in on it, it just has this really like cool look and feel to it. So I recommend, if you guys have a chance to like see one of these in person, just like touch all of it, because it has a really cool like look and feel to it. GMC logo at the back of it. You've got the camera at the top, and then you've got the little handle right there. That is to help with getting in and out of the bed. Notice that the one thing that you do give up, it looks like there are no lights in the bed or a power outlet. So it looks like if you go for the Carbon Pro, you lose those functions with the bed. I know GMC review is complete with that going over the tailgate, so we've got this little part which you can lift up, which I've done before, and I just think it's cool that you can do that. Now the cool part is you've got buttons. I'll show them a little bit later, but the button that's closest to you, if you press that button, that'll lower down this part of the tailgate, and then you can lower that step down, and then you can pop down. Now you can see that they've moved a couple things down here. So you can see that we've got like a USB auxiliary port right here, and obviously you have the sound system. So not only is this a bed step, but it also doubles as a speaker system that you can play your music through. So I think that is really awesome. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty functional, pretty easy to use, and then you just have to like flip this little part up essentially, and then just, I can't do it with one hand, but then you just have to lift it up, combine it with the rest of the bed, and then you are good to go. Lifting up the rest of the bed, it's actually pretty easy to get into place, definitely on the heavier side. And we can go over elements on the rear now of the AT4. We can zoom in here. This is the button, obviously, to drop the top of the tailgate, so I'll press that again so you guys can kind of see that. We'll drop that top part of the tailgate, and then this will drop the rest of the tailgate. You got the GMC logo, Sierra logo, AT4 on the back. You got the not the headlights, sorry, the taillights on either side. You got the outlet exhausts, and then you have right there the plugins for towing, the receiver hitch, parking sensors all along the back. And then let me zoom in on the taillights so you can see all the elements in it. So it's the full LED lights, and then there's the step on the side so you can step up to get up to the bed. Now, the reason I'm showing this is where you fill in the diesel and then the DEF on the truck. Now, coming to the back, you've got keyless entry, so one touch and that'll unlock it, and then if I press it again, that would lock the truck. Now, actually coming to the rear of the truck, here's the panel in the rear. Got this nice padding with the brown contrasted stitching. You got more padding up here at the top of the truck. And you got the window control right there, door handle. And then here are the seats in the rear of the Carbon Pro. They still have the storage behind the seats. Still have the cup holders that will pop down. You just got to pull a little bit hard to get those in and out of place. And then over here we've got the cup holders at the top. We've got the little power outlet right there, and then rubber floor mats that come with the AT4. Picking up the seat, there's little storage bins under the seat. And other than that, here's one more look at the rear. Now I've got keyless entry, so one touch to lock it, and then to unlock it, just press it again. Now opening up the panel for the front of it, we've got more of that leather padding with the stitching. We've got more stitching up top, another door handle. Your lock and unlock, you got the seat function for the memory seats, and then your window controls, mirror controls, and then you got this cool trim. I believe this comes with the Carbon Pro package. When you get this cool trim on the interior. And then we can see the seats for the front of the truck. Again, they've got these cool little accents right there. It says AT4 at the top of the seats. Full power adjustments there on the side. AT4 plaque again. And then the pedal layout just down below with the hood latch. This is your parking brake, light controls right here, your drive modes. I'll go over that later. Automatic, you got your 2-wheel high, your 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, all of your light controls, and then the steering wheel is going to be manually adjustable. And here's one more look at the front of the cabin. Start up, just pay for the brake, push C, push start. It'll do the diesel preheat if it has to. Everything will come to life, and the gauges will do their ever-long sweep. Wait for it, and there we go. Now looking at the steering wheel itself, we can zoom in. GMC logo there on the center. You got the controls for the center stack. You got your voice commands and your phone controls. Heated steering wheel. We've got our cruise control over here with the collision warning. And then you got the stitching on the center part of the steering wheel. Over here we've got this stock for the turn signal, windshield wipers, and then also flashing the high beams. And then over here we've got the stock for that 10-speed automatic transmission. If you want to shift the gears yourself, you can with those little buttons. We've got the gauges here. We've got the RPMs on the left side. On the right side we've got the speed, and then you got the little center stack right there. So there's a couple different menus that you can scroll through, just like all of the other GMCs. And this actually comes with the Chevys as well. It's just like their upgraded unit. You can see all the different menus. Some of it's limited just because this is in demo mode, so I can't see all the functions. But at least I can give you a couple things that you can see on the truck. I think it's a pretty standard setup for most vehicles nowadays. We've got the center stack right here, and it's pretty responsive with the touch time. The reason that it's not super is because there's plastic over the screen for the first owner to take off on this truck. But you got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and then the navigation, which will actually click into the navigation, and you can see all that function right there. Now if we go back to the home screen, we actually play with the camera system. So, oh, I accidentally pressed the side button, but you can see you get a bird's eye view camera, and I mean this literally has camera angles for every part of the truck. It's just crazy. I mean, parking this truck would be the easiest thing ever, just because of how many different camera angles you get. And then this is really cool. So if I actually pop it into reverse, you get a backup camera that'll pop up. And then let's say I go from reverse to drive, you get a front camera. So it actually makes it so that parking this is even easier, because it switches between the reverse and the front camera when you're in like a tight parking space, which I think is really, really neat. I've got our analog controls for the radio, analog climate controls, and it is dual zone climate. You've got your heated and ventilated seats just down below that. You got your hill descent control, your power outlet, you got your stability control, hazard lights, you got the tailgate release, auto stop start, parking sensors, lane departure assistance, trailer brakes. You can see we've got some charging stations just next to that. This does have wireless charging, a couple cup holders, and then obviously moving my cell phone here. Well, you can see that you can actually put your cell phone there, but opening up the center console, tons of storage space, a couple more charging stations. And then we've got the dual glove box, which we can open up like that. And there's some nice stitching all around it. And now let's get into the drive modes. So over here, you can see that if you're towing, a little trailer will pop up right there in the corner. And you got 3 different drive modes. You got your sport, off-road, and your normal mode that you can shift between on the truck. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Up top, we've got all of the controls for the sunroof. And it's a regular sunroof up top, black headliner. All of your controls for the lights are right there. And then this has the mirror system. So in the rear view mirror, you can turn it on or off with that little switch right there. and this just makes it easier so nothing is obstructing your view with the rear when you're just looking in that rear view mirror. So it's a pretty neat thing that GM is doing. Wrapping things up on the AT4 Carbon Pro, let's go over pricing. So this particular AT4 Carbon Pro, with all the options it has added, stickers for about $69,000 before any type of market adjustment, which, I mean, compared to the other trucks, you know, like just the fully loaded trucks, you know, for being a special edition, having that cool carbon composite bed, all that kind of stuff, I feel like is actually a pretty decent value. But anyways, let's take this AT4 with the Duramax out to see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off in the Carbon Pro. See, visibility of the hood, it's identical to any other GMC. And like I said, it's called that camera system. So if I pop it into reverse, you see the camera will pop up, and then I pop it into drive, and then the front camera will pop up. So it helps out with that. See visibility throughout both these mirrors. These are the massive, massive mirrors. So, I mean, you can see everything through them. And then visibility throughout the rear, which again, that mirror helps out with. And let's set off. So initially setting off in the Carbon Pro, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. So in terms of road noise, I really don't hear anything really coming through into the cabin. I hear a lot of noise from the diesel engine, and that's probably coming through and being picked up on the camera. But in terms of like wind noise and, you know, tire noise and all that, it's actually really limited. And then ride quality, this truck's really smooth. Like, in terms of smooth trucks, this is definitely one of the smoothest, if not the smoothest, on the market for sale today. Now let's talk about steering as we are taking a turn right here. Now the steering wheel is actually pretty small. Steering feel on it, it's super light, and it's actually really direct too. It's a really easy truck to maneuver. It definitely drives smaller than the truck is. Now we are going to get a little acceleration up here, and I imagine this will accelerate identical to that Duramax Chevy that I drove recently. So we'll see just right here how it performs. Oh, that's fast. This has a lot of torque. So yeah, it does feel identical to the Chevy, but man, like this, it's impressive. Like this has actually a lot of power in it. I am very, very pleasantly surprised with that. To wrap things up, what I would say is I am super impressed with this Carbon Pro. Yes, I know that the price is definitely up there. However, it's an awesome off-road truck. Obviously, GMC is a more premium brand. And, you know, on top of that, it just that carbon composite bed, all the unique stuff, and then also being a diesel half-ton. I just think everything about this truck is super cool, super unique. I think it's worth it. But yeah, I mean, that's all. It's an awesome truck. And there we have it, everyone. The 2020 GMC AT4 with the Duramax and the Carbon Pro package. Super unique truck. That's why I, of course, had to do a video on it. But as always, if you're stopping for the first time, I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe, comment down below what you thought. And then again, a big shout out and thank you to National GMC for providing us with the 1500 AT4 Carbon Pro. Check out the inventory in the link below if you're in the market for new GMC. I'll see all of you in that next video.